The Armored Corps Center and School symbolizes all that stands for the cavalry. Traditions and customs collectively reflect a strikingly unique and characteristic lifestyle of a cavalier. It is not only the home for training of the Armored Corps personnel, but also the custodian and repository of the cavalry spirit. What is this cavalry spirit? A spirit with a touch of dash and gaiety that comes from their irregular ancestry. What it means is elan, swagger, readiness to engage the enemy at once without counting the cost. It breeds a spirit of independence, self-confidence, and a habit of assuming added responsibility. The history of the cavalry is almost as old as the history of organized warfare. Throughout history, it has always been the arm of decision. In India, the training of the arm right up to the irregular cavalry period of the British Indian Army was localized and entrusted to the regiments themselves. The maiden effort to centralize training came with the setting up of the first cavalry training school at Sagar in 1910 for formalized recruit training of the mounted horse cavalry. Therein were laid the foundations of what eventually became the Armored Corps Center and School. Of the machine gun, a serious debate with regard to the future of the horsed cavalry arose at the end of World War I. Inevitably, the ability of the cavalry to charge over the ground dominated by the machine gun could not sustain credibility. Alas, gradually the mount changed from the horse to the tank, and the horse units began conversion. With their last mounted farewell parade, 18 regiments of Indian cavalry were mechanized between 1938 and 1940. And thus the horse era came to an end. The mechanization led to the establishment of training centers at Jhansi, Firozpur and Lucknow. Subsequently, due to the heavy commitments as a result of World War II, original training regiments were amalgamated and further reorganized. Partition saw the shifting of these three establishments to Ahmednagar, where the Fighting Vehicles School was already functioning, and these were amalgamated to form the Armored Corps Center and School and Records. From 1948 onwards, Ahmednagar became the Mecca of the tankmen. Today, it is the only establishment of its type in the country wherein the school and center coexist. Basic recruit and technical training is imparted at the center, and advanced technical and tactical training at the two schools, namely School of Technical Training or SOT and School of Armored Warfare or SAW respectively.
November Sierra Tango 1, okay, over.
Hello, November Sierra Tango 2, okay, over.
The nerve center of this unique institution is the Center Headquarters or CHQ. Till the early 50s, it was located in the Ahmednagar Fort, the most prominent landmark of the town. The history of the fort is not complete without a brief mention of our national leaders like Pandit Nehru, Sardar Patel and several others who during the freedom movement were imprisoned here. and it was here that the discovery of India was born. The city, clearly seen in the background, was founded in 1490 by Ahmed Shah, the founder of the Nizam Shah rule in the Deccan. Mute witness of the era gone by, or the famous octagonal Salabat Khan tomb, wherein lie the mortal remains of Jan Bibi, the ruler of Ahmednagar's alleged Palamur, and the legendary General Salabat Khan, and the equally imposing Faryabad monument, the pleasure resort of the Shahi dynasty. Presently, the headquarters complex is situated in the very heart of the cantonment in a striking white double-storied mansion. At the Armored Corps Center and School, our belief is to provide tough, realistic, meaningful and systematic training.
To fully understand what is the role of armor and what we are trying to achieve at the Armored Corps Center and School, one needs to go back in history. One single major factor which changed the course of warfare in the olden times was the introduction of horse cavalry. Their achievements and bravery on the battlefield have become legendary and form part of our folklore. Armor is the successor of this cavalry, and while only the have changed from horses to tanks, the cavalry still remains at the forefront of battle. Its bold and imaginative employment has always been and will continue to be the most decisive battle-winning factor. The role of armor is to destroy the enemy by relentless, mobile and offensive action. In order to fulfill our role and to wield such a potent weapon as the tank requires extremely professional, competent and bold commanders and crews. Here at the Armored Corps Center and School, we impart basic training to the Jawans, converting a raw recruit to a skilled and highly motivated soldier, confident of taking his place in an armored regiment as a member of a tank crew. In addition, officers, JCOs, NCOs also undergo advanced technical and tactical training. This is also where basic training in technical subjects and tactics is imparted to the young officers of the Armored Corps. Training imparted is rigorous and extremely thorough. It instills in the soldier the necessity to get the better of his adversary in every situation so as to be victorious in battle, as there are no prizes for the runners-up in war.
And to see how a raw inductee is toned into a budding soldier, we move on to the basic training regiment. The new recruits first report to the reception center of the basic training regiment in totally unfamiliar surroundings. Basic documents are checked by the Vardi Major.
ये काली काली आँखें, ये गोरे गोरे कान, ये तीखी तीखी नजरें, ये हिरनी जैसी चाल.
The function of the basic training regiment is to teach basic military skills. A recruit spends 20 weeks in the basic training regiment.
की चाल को खुली हुई रैफल के ऊपर बताऊंगा. क्लास देख के थोड़ा ध्यान से सुने. मेरे लिए अब हम रैफल के पीछे लड़ पाते.
Ready? And fire!
robustness is put to the test at the obstacle course. This helps to develop in him raw courage, confidence, and fearlessness. After 20 weeks of grueling training at the basic training regiment, the recruit moves to the driving and maintenance regiment. This is a unique institution of the Indian Army, being the only one of its kind, which imparts basic B vehicle training to all categories of recruits, irrespective of their trade. This is in keeping with the spirit and dictates of the Armored Corps, where all personnel must be able to drive B vehicles.
इंजन को दो बड़े भागों में बांटा गया है। नंबर 1 स्टेशनरी पार्ट्स, नंबर 2 मूवमेंट पार्ट्स। स्टेशनरी पार्ट्स को भी 3 बड़े भागों में बांटा गया है। नंबर 1 सिलेंडर हेड, नंबर 2 सिलेंडर ब्लॉक, नंबर 3 क्रैंककेस।
ये आपके सामने दिल्ली की कुछ रोडों को लाइन लेआउट मॉडल है। इसके ऊपर आप लोग रोड पे जाने से पहले मॉडल व्हीकल से इसके ऊपर प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। सबसे पहले देखें, ये जो लाइट लगी हुई है, ये लाइट सबसे ऊपर लाल लाइट, इसका मतलब है कि गाड़ी को होल्ड करें। ये 3 मिनट तक ऑन रहती है। उसके नीचे नंबर 2 लाइट, येलो लाइट, ये लाइट 3 सेकंड के लिए ऑन होती है। इसका मतलब है गाड़ी को स्टार्ट रखें, गियर लगाएं, क्लच दबा के रखें और एक्सीलेटर पे पांव रखें। जैसे ही ग्रीन लाइट ऑन हो जाती है, क्लच के पांव हटाएं और एक्सीलेटर पे पांव दबाएं और गाड़ी को स्पीड अप मार्च करें।
The first baptism of think mounted, is ingrained at this institution, so essential to the cavalry ethos. Training is scheduled for 22 weeks. Over 400 kilometers are earmarked for exhaustive driving training under the supervision of qualified instructors. On successful completion of this stage, trainees are put through a further 400 kilometers of driving on roads as a part of short and long convoys. Successful completion of his training, each recruit acquires an ability to negotiate steep gradients, to drive over narrow bridges and defiles, and to load his vehicle on a train and park it in limited space. Games and sports are an essential facet of a recruit's curriculum. These assist in imbibing the values of sportsman spirit, competitiveness, individual perseverance and excellence, combined with the indispensable qualities of team spirit and unit cohesiveness. On completion of successful basic training, the recruit in a final ceremony undertakes an oath of service, thus making a covenant with the nation and with the army. And he does all this, sacrificing his individual liberty and possibly his life, and binding himself to another code of laws. For this Black Beret family is now his home, the home where he will be cared for and loved throughout his service and thereafter.
भारत के राष्ट्रपति द्वारा निर्धारित किए उस ऑफिसर की जो मेरे ऊपर नियुक्त किए गए हैं की सब आज्ञा को मानूंगा और उसका पालन करूंगा, चाहे इसमें मुझे अपने जीवन का बलिदान ही क्यों न करना पड़े।
The recruit is now a full-fledged soldier. As a direct forebearer of the hallowed cavalry tradition, he still continues to be affectionately referred to as a Sawar. With yet another parade, the Sawar moves out, depending upon his trade, to either the automotive regiment or armament and electronics regiment to become a modern-day cavalier. At the automotive regiment, first and second leg tank drivers are trained, including those from the artillery, SP and engineers. The training schedule is 14 weeks for the first leg and 11 weeks for the second leg drivers.
सिखाने के लिए हम ऑपरेशन लिंकेज के बारे में सिखाते हैं। सबसे पहले स्टिक के एक्शन को यहाँ से लिंकेज के द्वारा आगे कंट्रोल बॉक्स के साथ मिलाया गया है। इसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्लच पैडल को का मिला नीचे से लॉन्गिट्यूडनल रॉड के द्वारा कंट्रोल शाफ्ट के साथ ही मिलाप किया गया है।
T55 गियरबॉक्स कंट्रोल का रिवर्स गियर इस प्रकार घूमता है। स्लाइडिंग डोर गियर के टीथ को इंगेज कर लेता है और एक्शन और इंटरनल आपस में मिलाते हैं। तमाम गियर शाफ्ट के ऊपर क्लॉकवाइज घूमते हैं, लेकिन रिवर्स गियर एंटी क्लॉकवाइज घूमता है और चाल दोनों तरफ एंटी क्लॉकवाइज ट्रैक्स करती है।
The regiment has 2 tank simulators to assist in driving training and economize in overall training kilometerage. The T55 driving simulator was procured from Czechoslovakia in 1986. It has recently been locally modified to even train T-72 drivers. The equipment is designed to train T-72 drivers. The equipment is designed to simulate near-real conditions of driving. The Vijayanta driving simulator was installed as early as January 1978. This simulator has already done about 15,000 hours, which is equivalent to approximately 4.5 lakh tank kilometers. 30 kilometers of simulator training is given to each recruit. A recruit driver is given cross-country and precision driving experience on the simulators, which reduces the exploitation of the tanks considerably. Electronic, optical, mechanical and hydraulic motions facilitate in obtaining near identical running conditions as in a moving tank. The simulator training culminates in driving of tanks initially under supervision and later independently. Each soldier is given 50 kilometers of actual driving on tanks, and second leg drivers are given 40 kilometers, including driving by night. The training is systematic and is progressively conducted in 4 stages. Introduction and initial familiarization, basic starting-stopping procedures, basic skills of driving, and finally, advanced skills of driving which include combat and precision driving. The obstacle course at Faridabad demands of a recruit driver not only the highest standards of driving skills and reflexes, but also tons of courage, dash and fearlessness, the qualities of a true Risalawala of the era gone by. The culmination of training in the automotive regiment results in recruits being trained as confident tank drivers to take their tank wherever the situation may warrant.
अभी सामने देखें, आपके सामने टैंक 30 डिग्री एंगल के ऊपर सीधा स्ट्रेट वे आ रहा है। अभी टैंक का नंबर 1 गियर 1400 से 1500 आरपीएम की स्पीड से सीधा स्ट्रेट वे चल रहा है। उस टाइम न ड्राइवर का राइट लेफ्ट का इशारा होगा और ना ही कोई हरकत करेगा। सीधा स्ट्रेट वे टैंक को ला करके ग्रेडियंट के ऊपर एकदम स्ट्रेट खड़ा कर देगा।
The Armament and Electronics Regiment is organized to train both tank gunners and radio operators.
अभी मैं लेक्चर का फर्स्ट फेज ग्राउंड की बनावट, यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ तक गोला। ये गोले दो प्रकार के होते हैं, एक भरा हुआ गोला जो इस तरह है, दूसरा ठोस गोला। भरे हुए गोले के अंदर बारूद होता है जो टारगेट एरिया में टकराने के बाद फटता है और छोटे छोटे टुकड़ों में बिखर कर टारगेट को नुकसान पहुंचाता है। जो ठोस गोला है वो टारगेट को टकराने के बाद अपने वजन और फोर्स से टारगेट को तोड़ता है।
Short ranging 1500 on 10.
Before actual firing on the ranges, pre-range training at the field miniature range orientates a recruit to the maximum degree.
आज होने वाली टेक्निक्स टैंक T-72 से हीट रेंजिंग टेक्निक्स की जाएगी, जिसके अंदर पहले रेंज मालूम किया जाएगा, उसके बाद में 2 राउंड हीट के फायर किए जाएंगे।
2 weeks are exclusively earmarked for firing at the ranges. Excellence in gunnery is the hallmark of the tank gunner. Nowhere else is the zeal for excellence as vital and evident as in the armament phase. The recruit is very patiently led into learning the basic, essential and finer points of gunnery to enable him to become a sound gunner. No effort is spared. Hitting the bullseye consistently is a befitting reward for hours spent in hard training and is a matter of satisfaction for the gunner, crew and instructors alike. That prevails after destruction and the littered remnants of the target end are a rejoinder to the enemy of the effectiveness of our gunners. An important aspect of communication is taught at the Technical Training Squadron Electronics.
रेडियो टेलीफोनी में एक खास प्रोसीजर बनाया गया है। ये प्रोसीजर क्या है और किस प्रकार रेडियो टेलीफोनी में इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, आज इस पीरियड के दौरान आप इसी के बारे में जानकारी हासिल करेंगे।
Number Sierra Tango 1, okay, over.
हेलो पापा 1, दुश्मन के चंद टैंक मीरा वाले पहाड़ी के लेफ्ट से गुजर रहे हैं, ओवर.
Having completed a grueling 59 weeks of hard training, the young recruit has deservedly earned his spurs. The School of Technical Training, or SOT, imparts advanced technical training in the 3 disciplines, namely driving, gunnery and radio. Conducts courses pertaining to A and B vehicles, officers, ACOs and other ranks.
के सामने टैंक एवर्ट FB42 Mark II, जो कि RTSP यूनिटों के अंदर कमांड पोस्ट के लिए काम में लाया जाता है.
Having done the battery test, we shall now carry out the ignition timing test. Driver, start up.
Adequate driving is imparted to build confidence in the course students. The students are also exposed to basics of vehicles recovery to train them for unforeseen contingencies during field maneuvers and combat. The armament wing of the School of Technical Training is responsible for the conduct of advanced training in gunnery. The training is akin to that imparted to a recruit, but of a higher level, the content progressively varying with the rank structure. Firepower remains a prime characteristic of a battle tank. All training is geared towards the achievement of the 5 areas of gunnery. These are exploitation of its lethality, accuracy, rate of fire, fire control equipment, and application of fire.
गाई अटैचमेंट तादाद में 2. अब लगे हुए एंटेना एक तरफ ऊपर देखे, नंबर 3 सेक्शन, नंबर 5 सेक्शन के ऊपर गाई रोप्स को लगाने के लिए.
Electronics or radio wing of the School of Technical Training imparts advanced radio training to all ranks.
आज की रेडियो एक्साइज हलचल कंडक्ट की जा रही है.
Training is interspersed with theory and practical classes and with short and long range radio exercises aimed at achieving a high standard of communication skills. The School of Armored Warfare, or SAW, is a unique institution which imparts formalized training in mechanized warfare.
At the very outset, I would like to take attention to our forward zone. It extends to about 8 kilometers in the west to about 6 kilometers in the east. Deployment of own armor in the forward zone. My syndicate suggests that we deploy two troops of armor in general area transport.
Training of troop leaders and young officers is aimed at making them proficient in handling their subunits so as to enable them to command, train and administer their troops in war and peace.
We also suggest to have a missile platoon in area firing.
In tactics, there are no perfect solutions. Students are encouraged to discuss various options and arrive at sound tactical plans.
Someone to indicate the landmarks.
Class, look to your front. So, the combat team will be advancing along KK.
All the technical skills in the world will not help if one cannot maneuver the vehicles at the precise moment. It is therefore imperative to integrate technical and tactical training for a meaningful fighting force.
Charlie 1, enemy tank, see area, grow. Golf Romeo 345986. Moving towards temple. I am moving to Charlie Baba 35. Roger Sobravo. Roger Robert. Charlie 1, establish blocking position and joint area 39. Over.
Accordingly, tactical demonstrations and exercises are conducted on tanks and ICVs or infantry combat vehicles. For the combat team and combat group, course exercises are conducted as telebattles and war games. Paramount in every endeavor here has been a continuing concern for the soldiers and the welfare of their families. This is reflected in various welfare institutions that have come up over the years. Splendid regalia more than represent the traditional pomp and pageantry associated with the cavalry. Overlooked by the Faryabad Monument is a recently established tank museum, the only one of its kind in Asia. It displays 38 different kinds of tanks and armored cars from the time they were first used in World War I. And this is the very armored car used by the infamous General Dyer at the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Heroism in the face of death has been enshrined in our history. The Roll of Honor is a story of the deeds of valor, of sacrifice, and steadfast loyalty to the cause, the regiment, and the Black Beret. The bedrock of that invincible spirit has been this institution. In the words of retired Lieutenant Col V P Jadhav,
that this armored corps and the cavalry is the best place for any young man who wants to put in his bit to defend his motherland.